It's been 1 hour of us just yapping around Instagram and career and life.
I can go
So,
on.
uh, me too. But I think people who are listening have a attention span problem. So we'll just be very quick. Are you ready for the quick rapid fire?
Yes.
Okay, let's do this. So, one Instagram myth you're tired of hearing. It's a rapid fire.
Hashtags work.
Okay. One content format you would be doubling down this year.
Storytelling. So taking anecdotes from my life and connecting them with the value.
So, most people grow on Instagram and still don't make money. Today's guest grew from 700 followers to over 90,000 without cringe DMs, without posting 5 times a day, and without chasing vanity metrics. And if you have ever wondered why your content gets likes but not leads, this episode is for you. Prakriti, welcome to Behind the Brief.
Hi, thank you so much, Shruti, for having me.
Okay, so we go way long back. Prakriti is my senior. We did masters in English literature, and we both are in very different careers right now. But I've been following Prakriti's journey, her career journey, for a long time, and I have always been mesmerized by the way she has put herself out there, how she talks about her career, and this episode is really special. She is coaching hundreds of people, maybe thousands now, and she is doing a great job. And this podcast episode is definitely different from what we usually do on Behind the Brief, but this is what it is, right? This is life. You evolve, you grow, and that's what my podcast is also doing. So follow along and let's hear Prakriti's journey. So, Prakriti, let's start before the Instagram coach era, right? What were you doing in your early career, and at what point of time did you realize, okay, this path isn't for you?
To start with, I was clueless. Like, proper clueless. I knew nothing apart from praying to God, ke, please do something about me, something right about like in my life. Please make
Yeah.
something correct. And I so like you said, I was doing masters. After the masters completed, I also applied for MPhil, and I couldn't go into it because I was just left by one seat. Right, so I was heartbroken. I was like, what will happen now? What will I do now? Then I thought I like learning languages. So I was
Yeah.
learning multiple languages by that time. And I was learning Urdu, I was learning Punjabi. I then thought, and I had German language in school. So I thought I'll probably become a interpreter, translator, or something of the sort. So I started learning, I started going to Max Muller Bhavan. I took admission there, right? And I started learning German. I did just two levels of it, right? So 6 months approximately.
Mhm.
And I was doing pretty well. I was like the topper of the class. Okay. And then one day I come back from the class and my sister says, Didi, you know, this, I was not even on Instagram.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah.
Right. So she says, Didi, this girl has put out a vacancy and I think this is for you. Like whatever she's describing she wants in a manager,
Yeah.
it's you. I said, how does it match me? I'm not even there on the platform, and you're telling me that a beauty influencer is looking for a manager like me. She said,
Yeah.
no, this is you, this is you. Like, okay, chal, tere liye, for you, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I applied. Next day, again, I come back from the classes. Imagine if I get a call right now from XYZ person and my phone rings and Truecaller says
The
whatever the
name.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah. And me and my sister were looking at each other like, kya hai ye?
How? Yeah.
The problem was in that house, my room hardly had any network. So if I picked any call, it would like either go off or nobody would be able to hear me.
Yeah.
So I ran through the rooms
Yeah.
outside, and by the time I reached outside, the call was disconnected. And
Mhm.
I mean, I tried calling back, and the phone was switched off. So I thought, Prakriti, your chance is gone.
Gone. Yeah.
I was like, shit, what are the chances? Right?
Yeah.
But then after some time, I got the call back and she told me that the call had disconnected and her phone was discharged. Right? So then we spoke for about an hour actually.
Mhm.
What music do I like? What food do what common interests do we have and all of that. And the next day, she came to pick me up from Max Muller Bhavan, and that was my 1 month internship started.
Wow. Okay.
I did my internship with the studies, completed completed the A2 level of German language, completed the internship, and I got the full-time job there. So I
Okay.
then worked with her for about a year. This was 2019, and I worked with her till 2020 March, right? Ended right before COVID, right? And yeah, I learned everything there: scripting, direction, just the sense of what is social media, what people want from you, how to connect with brands, a lot of it, styling, networking, everything.
Yeah. So that's so nice actually. And you never imagine what opportunities are waiting for you, but you keep thinking about the outcomes that you never want to happen, but some things just happen out of luck. You can call, but you are at the right place, is what I believe in. Yeah.
I mean, my life has been, it is now making sense, but
Yeah.
it's been absolutely in the directions that I never imagined, because in school I had medical science with maths. Okay.
So you were from a completely different background and now you
Yeah.
are,
I
yeah.
wanted to become a biologist or
Wow.
a bio professor or something, right?
Yeah.
Then we did like MA, BA, MA, right? And now I ended
Right.
up becoming a marketer. Make it
How
make
the
sense.
tables, yeah, exactly. So was there, like, you just shared that this was your transition to social media, branding and then marketing as well. Is there any way that you started exploring it as a serious career option, or like when did you start taking social media more seriously?
So after this, COVID hit, and obviously I wasn't left with a job.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, what do I do now? I tried freelancing, nothing worked because obviously nobody was paying. At that time, it was a time of crisis. And by the end of the year, so approximately March, April, I did not have a job, right? And from April till about October, I was trying to experiment, get something, got nothing, right? I thought I'll go into corporate and something. So I gave a few interviews and I got selected in a startup,
Uh-huh.
which was like a life insurance or health insurance startup as a social media manager, right? I started there. And that's when I understood the other side also, the non creative side, the more technical stuff and all of that. After this, I also realized that I cannot work in corporate. So I changed 2 jobs in 6 months. I couldn't handle, I cannot handle it now also, the kind of pressure that's there, right? And after like 6 months, so in November, I got the job, then left it in 3 months, then again 3 months, I did another job, left it. So close to about April 2021, I realized I need to do something else. And I had bought a course for myself, which was on digital marketing, right? And it was about 3K a course, right? And that needed like 8 hours of time every day for 3 months to like really understand it. So I gave all of that time. And again, on 1st November itself, I had 2 clients. So during this period of time when I was trying to do the course, obviously I did not explore, like I did learn how to run ads and do the other part of digital marketing, make funnel. I know how to do it, but I did not want to explore it because that's again too technical. I can't go so technical.
Yeah.
Right. So I just got to know how to sell myself, right? How to make sure that someone is buying what I'm trying to give. Found some more structure in whatever thoughts were there, how to put up a proposal, how to make a calendar, right? And that's where I think I knew how to package my skill. And yeah, that's where I started. I knew that I had to do this. I remember one day I was sitting and I was like, so during the COVID times also, I was exploring a lot of things. Like, I was exploring how to be, I was exploring how to become a food blogger.
Okay.
There's a page still, I will not tell you the name, which has some craziest skits
Recipes.
of me like
Okay.
behaving like a food blogger and stuff, right? Like if someone finds it out, they'll go bonkers that, oh my god,
Yeah.
who's she? Right? And then I tried fitness, I tried comedy, I tried
Hmm.
art and stuff, and I realized kuch bhi nahi ho raha hai. Then I realized, no, if I'm going to social media, this is the last thing I need to be,
Correct.
hopping on. It
Yeah.
cannot go on for long.
So I want to like understand, because right now we are focusing on your life before you actually became a dedicated Instagram coach and all of that. But what did people around you, like your parents, your siblings or whoever, influences your career decisions, what were their reactions when you said you wanted to actually pivot and not do the regular 9 to 5?
Definitely, my parents were scared because, according to them, the job I was doing was almost like as good as a government job, right?
And the expectation and liking of a government job, I think we all have been
You
there.
know the obsession of
Yeah,
Indian parents with a government job, right?
true.
So
Yeah.
it was for them. I was doing a government job, and I was like, "This is how a government job looks like. I don't want to do it." Right?
Right.
So it was slightly difficult to convince them, but
Yeah.
I realized that if I give them a path, right, and if I give them some kind of certainty, they might not. Matlab, see, there has to be. I realized one thing, that parents are not like against your dreams,
Yeah.
unless, I mean, I'm not sure about all the parents, but most of the
Yeah.
parents are not against your dreams, but they just don't know because you also don't know anything. And they
Exactly.
are even far behind in the generation, right? So what I did is I told them, listen, I want 1 year. Just give me 1 year. If it doesn't work out, I'll go back to the job. What's the problem? So I told them, give me 1 year, because once I turn 30, I won't be able to take these kind of risks.
Exactly.
I will
Yeah.
not have a risk capacity because, life goes on and then you have more responsibilities and stuff. They said,
Correct.
Acha. I'm like, I have this course. I want to buy this. If I do the course, I try whatever's there. If it doesn't work out, I go back.
Yeah.
That's
So you
when,
gave them a timeline, you gave them a date that if this doesn't work out till here, I'll do whatever you want me to do, kind of.
and within 3 months, I was already making double my salary.
Wow.
So convinced.
Yeah.
Everybody was.
Definitely. Why would they not like it now then?
But a very interesting thing, because social media wasn't really perceived very well back in the day.
Exactly.
Now also
Yeah.
not many people know, like not everyone knows. But in 2019, there was a relative who had come to Delhi with his family, and when I told him what I do, I was doing a full-time job with the influencer, right?
Okay.
I told him what I do. He was like continuously
The
shaking his head. He said,
perception.
no.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's this no supposed to mean? I'm trying to tell you what I do, and he said, क्या ही होगा इसके आगे? I said, I was so disappointed that they are not even bothered to consider it a
Yeah.
job.
What was the least glamorous part of starting out that nobody talks about, but you have it close to your heart because that's the kind of struggle, maybe convincing even yourself around that challenge or that life that you are actually starting out? What was the least glamorous part of starting out in this field that is not at all spoken about?
The loneliness, because you can't really share what you're feeling because you're so scared of, will this work out? Will this not work out? What if I really try hard for 1 year and nothing happens? It'll be so
Exactly.
heartbreaking now that you've tried so much and you love doing something but nothing is happening. So that was scary. And to wake up every day also, because you're so scared, you're slightly dripping into loneliness, which is asking you to not get up from your bed. There's procrastination, there's so much, but still you choose to get up. And I used to, after a point, I was like, I can't do this anymore because I was so scared. Also, because you're learning a new skill, so many mistakes you make. I got my account banned, the Facebook ads account, and that was supposed to be a process that happens with everybody. That when you make an
Okay.
account, it goes,
It
like it
goes.
gets banned for like some time because they're checking something.
Okay.
And I thought my money
You
is
didn't
gone,
know. Yeah.
my account is gone.
Oh
All
my God.
night I was praying, and all night I was just chanting Hanuman Chalisa ki, bacha lo. I can't do this. What will I do
Right.
after this and stuff? So anyway, that loneliness is something that really gets to you. But one thing I told myself, that no matter how hard it gets, I will take 1/4 or 1/3 of a step, but I will take. Like, even if I don't feel like working because I'm very, very low, I'll just open the laptop. That's it.
Mhm.
Once you open the laptop, you might just also open
Still
the
do something.
course. Give me a second, my charger.
Sure. Yeah.
Bolu?
Yeah.
So yeah. So once I open the laptop, I might just open the course. Once I've opened the course, I'll go to that lecture again maybe, and maybe watch the first 10 minutes. And once you are there, then you never know.
Then,
Like,
yeah,
yeah, फिर
I
8
think
घंटे का काम.
exactly. And I think it's easier to train your brain onto a pattern for your life. Like, this is something that even I learned when I was new here in Canada. I didn't know how to, keep applying and then keep waiting for rejection. So that my brain was getting into a like phase where I will not open my laptop, apply for jobs, reach out to people. I became so antisocial that ultimately I started doing my own podcast. So like the brain works in a different fashion when you actually make an action of inaction. So I think what you said is really true. You just need to train your brain and fool it all the time
Yeah, just take.
and not take it seriously.
Yeah, so the idea is to not take one step, right?
Hmm.
Every day we are thinking, एक step, let's take one step. No,
Yeah.
that's not the idea. The idea is that you just slightly move. So take half the step. Do the easiest thing possible because the next thing will come naturally. So you'll be able to take half, then you'll be able to take like 3/4, then you'll take one whole step. You'll never know how it happened. So yeah.
Right. But don't give in to the fact that you don't feel like doing. Just because you don't feel like doing, I think that's the biggest way you go into a tunnel where it's like very difficult to come up again. So fool your brain and like you're good.
Just do it.
Okay, so let's shift our gears towards the marketing side, the social media side now. Like we have your career journey and entering into this, space is very inspiring. I hope people listening to us do get some ideas. And if they have been drowning in self doubt, maybe this episode brings them up on the surface and they start to making action again. So, okay, moving on to my another question around it. So, a lot of people want to pivot into social media because now it is the thing, like everybody wants to be in this space, right? As you mentioned, your relatives were not at all happy when the person wants to be a content creator, right? They want to show themselves on Instagram, they want to talk, and they want to be very extrovert kind of in front of a camera, but very few are actually like literally able to do it because it's difficult, it's not easy to show up in front of the camera. So what made this transition a real and practical for you and not just a dream? Like, what were some things that you can share to a person who still records but they never publish it? Like, how to come out of that?
So frankly, for me, this was actually a scalability issue. This was like an agency issue I was going through. So
Mm-hmm.
I was, like I said, I was doing freelancing fine,
Yeah.
right? And then I suddenly, after a point, I had few more clients, all of them from my own network, right? I realized how will I scale if I don't go out of my network? Right.
Mm.
So I started reaching out, cold DMing, cold reaching, cold emailing. And the response of people, I still have screenshots of them, was Prakriti, why do you have 500 followers? Why do you have 300 followers? I said, listen,
Mm.
I've not worked on my profile. That's why I have such less followers. But here's my portfolio and look at the numbers. And they're like, okay, no, thanks, this, that. Very rude. And that's when I realized that it's a genuine issue. And
Issue.
if I'm telling someone I can help you out and I haven't helped myself out, that's a
Exactly.
bad example.
And
That's when I decided.
okay. So it's equivalent to you being a doctor, but then you're not able to treat yourself.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, you know what? I still do this. Like, I have, I don't do it as rampantly, but what I used to do was I put financial pressure on anything I needed to do. Right.
Okay.
So, for instance, when I wanted to get into freelancing or become an entrepreneur, I bought a 40,000 rupee course, right?
Okay.
Because I wanted to become a creator, I got myself a coach, not because I did not know what to do, but I had to
Correct.
put financial pressure on me. I got myself a coach, I got myself a video editor and then a videographer.
It's to get you started.
So if they are standing on my head asking for their salaries, I need
Then
to
you
put
need to
out
provide.
something.
Yeah.
Then I'll be like,
Exactly.
okay, I'm giving salaries away, but not making content. That doesn't make sense. So, to justify whatever my actions, I had to produce content every day.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't, like you said, for someone whose reel is sitting in the drafts, that's your shot to literally go viral, become a millionaire or something. So you have to decide. For instance, one day what happened, I was just roaming around,
Okay.
and somebody like called me. They were like, Prakriti, Prakriti. It's like, oh shit, who's calling? And then a follower came, I follow you. And that was such an experience that shit, I never thought these things happen, and these things will happen
Yeah.
to me.
You
Right? So now when
exactly.
someone says that Prakriti, what is the motivation? I tell them, you tell me, how do you want people to remember you? That, this guy is cringe, or this guy is, or you want to remember the part where they call out your name
Mhm.
and ask for an autograph or something.
Right.
So you have to start from the cringe and go there.
Absolutely. And I'm curious, like, what were skills from your earlier career? Like, were there some things that actually helped you move the needle? My master's degree actually helped me. I did my bachelor's in literature and then followed with a master's. So I feel I have good storytelling skills, but like, is there anything that helped you as well that unexpectedly guided you your way into this career?
See, the good part about this career is that you don't really need any degrees. It can work for anyone. But what
Exactly. Yeah.
helped me was again the communication, because my English language was strong. I could choose international clients for myself, right?
Yeah, you
While my
have
competitors, yeah,
ability to
whi-
expand.
exactly. While my competitors doing equally well, mostly focusing on Indian
Indian
clients. There's
region.
nothing
Yeah.
wrong with it. I have Indian clients also, but I expanded my arena with just speaking the global language. So that helped
That
because of the
helps.
command and writing. Also, writing
Correct.
scripts became slightly easier for me
For
because I
some
had to.
people, it's a mountain task. Like they can't write and they can't express in their real vulnerable self. But yeah, I think writing really helps. Having that command over your writing skills is something that eases out the script writing and everything. So I
Exactly. Even
agree.
till
Yeah.
date, I write my own scripts. I have a script writer writing for my clients, everything.
Yeah.
But and tell me also that I can write your scripts. I'm like, no, I write my own script. I don't even take help from
Exactly.
AI. I mean, ideation and stuff, I take help, but
Definitely.
not the scripts.
Yeah. No, that's a lovely thing. And I want to focus on something that I am really interested how you would answer that. Like if somebody had zero audience today, like they are starting from scratch. So what's the first realistic step they should take instead of just posting?
Do competitive research. Whatever you are deciding to talk about anything. Everything is monetizable today. But yes, something, if you teach something, the monetization is in your hands. If you do something very creative, the monetization goes in the hands of brands who give you sponsorships,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So teaching is a skill that you can monetize yourself. I'm never dependent on brands to pay me. Yeah. So one thing that they can do is do competitive research. Find out 10 people in their niche who have done much better than they are doing, right? Our experts have grown an audience, and just study their content second by second. So just take their, let's say, top 10 performing reels, yeah, best performing reels, and study what was the hook, how was the background, how was the lighting, what outfits were they wearing, what are the kind of edits that they're doing, is the hook visual, or like is there subtitle, not subtitle, are they outside or indoors, everything you have to study.
Mhm.
That shapes your perspective, because a lot of times people do not post because they're thinking, oh, I don't have a great light, I don't have a good
Exactly.
background. I have never invested in great lights or good backgrounds, so that does not, like, nobody cares. I have put
Nobody cares.
pixelated bad looking videos which have gone viral.
So you just have to start and stop overthinking about it.
Look for competitors, because people who have done some, you will find investing a lot, but
Correct.
most
Yeah.
of them will be just doing it with their phone camera and maybe sunlight.
Okay, so moving on to the numbers game. Like you went from 700 to 90K. What actually changed? Like what's the journey like from 700 to 90K?
It's purely consistency, nothing else. I will not say this hook worked, that lighting worked. No, no, nothing. If I wasn't consistent, it wouldn't have worked. I posted for 5.5 months without a day missing out. Every freaking day I was posting, right? So close to what, 170 days or 160 days, right? I posted straight 160
Without
reels.
missing any day or.
Not a single day did I miss. Even if I missed the timing, I still posted. I was like, I won't break the streak, right? So what happened was, see, for you to buy something, right? You don't see something and buy it just like that, right?
Yeah.
You tend to see, then maybe read about it somewhere, then you saw it again, and then you forgot, and maybe then you saw an ad, and maybe you saw a reel, or your friend was wearing it. There are multiple encounters you have with a thing or a person to
Yeah.
really remember or do something about it.
Correct.
So, posting multiple times, what it did was I was appearing on people's feed a lot, and one reel went viral,
Okay.
which acted as a chain reaction, right?
Mm.
And suddenly, virality does not mean more followers, right?
Correct.
Suddenly, I
Yeah.
had a lot of followers also coming in. And what I was doing is, I was asking everyone, like as many as I could, that, hey, what made you follow me? And
Yeah.
so many of them told me, Prakriti, I've been seeing your content a lot on my feed. You're appearing a lot on my feed. And today I decided to follow you. That's when it hit me that, oh, it's not
It's
this
not just
reel.
one day. It's the way you have showed up for the last 5.5 months.
Yeah. So it was that.
That's crazy actually, because we think consistency and discipline is boring.
Yeah.
Nobody is noticing you. Nobody will care what you're doing. If you're not publishing, nobody's gonna remember you, or they're not gonna miss you. But I think it works the opposite way in a long term.
Absolutely. It is boring. There's no doubt about it because you can't see the results as such. But
Results,
when it
yeah.
compounds and the reward it gives you is crazy. I've never been so disciplined in my life.
And in a career that's completely opposite to your education, your background makes you go crazy. Like you stop treating it like a 9 to 5 and you start building it like your own baby, start growing it like your own baby. So,
Absolutely. Also, you
yeah.
can gamify things. For example, I created financial pressure on myself, right? I also had the ego issue that those 3, 4 people rejected me. I was like, this guy, there was one person who kind of humiliated me that you have these you're working with these clients. Show me, are you sure? Tried to put me down. And at that moment in my mind, I was like, you will take coaching from me. You will come to me. I promise. Obviously, I said it to myself. And
Definitely.
that guy came to me, took the group, paid me, and took the group coaching. I felt that it was a full circle and my revenge was
Exactly.
completed. I was
Yeah. Moving on to another interesting question. Like, you must have been following your competitors, some Instagram coaches as well, who are like already there, made up in their career. So, what didn't work, even though Instagram gurus were swearing by it?
what
What
didn't
didn't
work?
work for you? Yeah, like growing your own Instagram, and if you were following somebody, and now you can proudly say that, this is bullshit, this doesn't work.
There are a lot of like little things. For example, when someone tells you that use this setting, click on this setting to get 1 million followers. No setting can
Yeah.
get you 1 million. Do not believe. Even if I tell you, please, that's just for views. It's not
Okay.
possible to get like switch on a setting and you suddenly get a lot of followers. No. Yes, that could be like a, what do I say? Like, we collect bricks and then make a house, right? So
Yeah.
that could be your last brick, maybe. But
It
that's
doesn't
not the
impact
only
that
brick
much.
that that's not the only brick you need, right? So that's the thing.
Okay.
Nothing
So
works in one day.
So I think this follows up to the question, what's one thing that definitely doesn't work, when even if you would like remove 90% of the growth advice, like hashtags or like technical things like that, or maybe something that's different.
Hashtag. See, I don't even have to say. Go ahead. Adam Mosseri himself has thrice said it. Hashtags do not work. I mean, do not work in the sense they will not affect your performance, the performance of the content. Yeah. If you're looking for better views, better likes, nothing is going to happen because of hashtags. Why? Hashtags were made to make your content more searchable, to get it to like-minded people, because earlier you used to click on hashtag and reach a community.
Correct.
That's how Instagram was trying to build communities via hashtags. But now you can simply type the word without a hashtag and still reach the community, still reach the like-minded
So
people.
it doesn't impact that much.
Go ahead, look for keywords.
Okay, so there's a reason why I invited you to my podcast because of the technicality of how you view Instagram growth as well. So you talk a lot about growth that converts and not just like vanity
Yeah.
metrics, right? So how do you explain the difference to creators who are still like stuck chasing likes and saves and follow and share all of that? Because I have personally seen people with just under 1,000 followers on Instagram, they're still earning really good. So, how is that? And what would you suggest?
Was teaching people on Instagram or practically making money from Instagram when I had 500 followers, right? And there was one person not very long ago I spoke to who had about 80K followers, who was a fitness enthusiast.
Okay.
And I asked him that, hey, he had applied for the discovery call for one-on-one coaching.
Yeah.
And I asked him, hey, how many people have you taught or have you coached? He said, none. I will do it after I have K followers. I was shocked. I was like, you have 80,000 people to your disposal, right? Imagine 80,000 people in front of you and you have not even spoken to one, or you have not taught even one. Be it for free. Teach for free, maybe. So when I tell them that, everyone's ultimate goal is not really to get famous. Everyone wants to make money. The bottom line is money. No, we are surviving for money.
Absolutely.
If I tell you that you can do that with 100 followers also, what's the point of you waiting till 100K?
Exactly.
What I believe is your create content that creates your authority, makes you an expert. Followers are a byproduct. Your leads will start coming in. Let's say you have 100 people in your followers list, and 10 of them are taking services from you. It's such a crazy win. That's what you have to achieve. And all my clients first go for leads only. None of them I ask them to focus on
Followers or other vanity metrics.
Yeah. Views and followers come after they've already taught like 5-6 people. Slight issue with followers is that maybe you're not that comfortable with camera, right? It also depends on your personality. Maybe you don't like to jump around. Maybe you have a family to take care of, or maybe a lot of responsibilities, and you're not able to post that often. Still, because you're posting the right information, you'll still get the money.
So, very quick question and a very fun one. Like, would you rather have 5K followers who pay or who buy from you, or 100K that looks really good and don't? And why?
I am a greedy woman. I want money. Okay? I'm here to make money. I'm here to tell you how to make
Tell you.
money.
Exactly.
I don't mind the number of followers. Yes, I do create content where I say that I want to hit this goal. I want to.
Yeah.
Now I can, right? Also, these are series that I keep trying. But that does not mean that I'm only running for the followers numbers and not the views. Also, I can afford to experiment with whatever I want.
Exactly.
I can go all
Now
crazy.
you have the leverage of time that you can actually experiment with all of those things.
So
That's a great thing. Thank you for talking about it. So most of your audience is not full-time creators. They are either busy with their 9 to 5 hustle. They are founders and consultants or professionals as well in their full-time jobs. So what does a sustainable content system actually works?
Always tell them to not go after difficult things because obviously everyone has done the competitive research. Now they're only thinking like, oh, I'll jump from this cliff and then land here and then speak the hook and it'll be so good. You can't do it every day. So you have to make your content or your journey sustainable. Number one, choose how many times you can post. It's okay if you cannot post daily, but don't go less than 3 times a week. Okay. Now that you've figured out your timeline, balance it out. Maybe one content piece. So let's say if you're posting thrice a week, then one content piece can be very intelligent and very expertise based. The other can be something like a list where you point maybe here and there and something appears which is very savable, right? And the third one can maybe be a meme, right? Which you can turn around into your niche.
Correct.
So these two become very shareable, very savable, algorithm boosting. And that one, ultimately, you will have to only properly prep for 4 reels in a month. That will be very
Right.
intelligent. And rest you can do on the go, right? Similarly, if you're posting every day, 7 days a week, then maybe post 2 or 3 that are very intelligent. right? Rest can be a meme, can be a quotation, can be a list kind of a video where you're pointing, uh, or maybe just a commentary of a message you read on Reddit or some. So if you're posting 7 times in a week, try to maybe distribute into just three reels where you go ahead, give out a lot of information. One can
Yeah.
be a live session, one can be a carousel post of maybe just a photo dump of your week,
Yeah.
right? And one could be a meme or a list kind of a video or a quotation. So the rest three or four become the easier tasks, right? They don't let your consistency break because they are the lazy content pieces, right? You don't feel so now you have to only create or ideate or script for 15 reels in a week,
Yeah.
in a month, yeah, and the rest 15 can be chill. That's how you become consistent. If you're always trying to do the hard thing, there will be days you're feeling low, you have something come up. It's
Correct.
very difficult, no? So make it more sustainable.
So, based on what you just shared, like posting 3 times, whatever works for you should be good. But like, what's the biggest time waster for early creators, or maybe they can just eliminate that part very like quickly, immediately?
I think creating difficult content pieces is the time waste. It's a big
Okay.
time waste because everybody is seeing everyone else using crazy good equipments,
Yeah.
crazy good stuff, right? And what lighting and what editing, and people are learning edits also.
Correct.
Not everybody is able to do it, especially if you are a founder or if you're a coach, because your bread and butter is relying on your skill mostly. This is just another marketing thing you're trying to figure out, right? So, in that case, just stop overthinking, just post and stop, how do I put it? Stop script. I mean, stop thinking of difficult ideas. Don't do too much. Do as less or easy as you can, but keep repeating it. Because discipline and consistency is something that will give you the reward, not the great quality. It's always the quantity.
Okay, so let's talk about the elephant in the room, the cringe DMs. Do you like you generate organic leads without sounding desperate, but how?
So you have to tell them, no, that you're selling. The problem with most of the creators is they are giving out value, they are experts, they're putting out everything, but they're not telling anyone that, see, I have this service, please take it from me. They forget, right? So, and there's nothing called like being sales. Be sales. Like imagine, so Bollywood movies or any movie for that matter, right? What kind of budgets do they have for marketing or sales? Crazy budgets, no? They have crores, like 100,000 million dollars, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Why aren't they like? Why are they not scared of sounding salesy? Because that's what will get them sales. So why are we so scared? It's okay if you're sounding salesy. That's what you're here for. You are here to make the sale. That's good. You're sounding salesy. Yeah, just don't tell my
Yeah.
clients to simply directly
Ask.
ask for the service.
Okay, what's one thing that people should stop saying in DMs immediately?
Hey, can I ask you a question? Just ask. Yeah, I never respond to such messages. Or just, hi, I don't know if you're a creep or you have a genuine question. Right?
Or you
Because
just come here to waste my time.
yeah. So instead of asking them that you have a question, just ask.
Ask.
Because I get a lot of messages. And I thought that I should give benefit of doubt and maybe respond to a few highs and hellos, and all of them are a bad decision. So
So there's so much noise right now, like reels, carousels, podcasts, and AI content. From what you're seeing, what's actually going to be working on Instagram in 2026?
carousels definitely have more space now. People are interested in seeing it. They are back. So yes, try carousels. Reels will still generate more views, even more than
Okay.
carousels. Why?
Yeah.
Simple reason. Reels have their own feed. Carousels don't.
Hmm.
If carousels were so important for Instagram,
Yeah.
they would have had their own feed, not the reels. So whenever people compare if I post carousels or reels, it's always reels, right? Then AI definitely is gonna pop up and you won't be able to guess the difference.
Okay.
Right? So
Yeah.
so use it to your leverage, right? Maybe if you're posting every day, use 15 reels with the AI, 15 maybe where you're interacting
Okay.
to just maintain the balance. So, like for my clients also, I've started doing AI content for them, help them. And AI really helps you with time if you're busy.
Yeah, it helps you scale things.
Obviously, it is costly, no doubt.
Yeah.
But it helps you scale. For instance, if you give me 10 minutes, I can create 60 reels for you. I just need 10 minutes of your time. Rest, I'll do the job.
Mm.
Right? So if someone is too busy, but they know the value of their time, they can spend, go ahead, do a mix. It'll be great for your business. Crazy good.
It's like having a smart assistant, right? It can just solve a lot of your problems by just giving some context, some really great prompts, and things start
Absolutely.
looking really good. Do you think consistency still the king, or is clarity more important right now? What do you think is overrated, but what do you think is working?
Consistency is always and will always be the case. Why? Because consistency gives you clarity. You make so many mistakes, you automatically
Yeah.
get all kinds of clarity, right? You can't be born and have clarity that I will become this on day one. No, right? You fall, you learn how to like walk, then you learn how to run and then fall and make mistakes. And then oh, this is the direction I want to go into. If life is like that, how can we a skill not be like that, right? People always look at how many followers do I have, or how many followers this person has, or how many views. Oh, this person went viral. Go ahead, check their page and just check how many reels have they posted. I posted 700 till date, more than 700. If you now compare, you might seem like, oh shit, 790K is not that great number. But
No, it
yeah,
is.
consistency.
Yeah.
That's how consistency looks like. Suddenly you
Exactly.
feel like this is an overnight success. It's not.
It's not. Okay, so I want to move to a more fun and quick rapid fire round before we actually wrap this up. I think it's been 1 hour of us just yapping around Instagram and career and life.
I can go on.
Me too. But I think the people who are listening have a, attention span problem. So we'll just be very quick around this. Are you ready for the quick rapid fire?
Yes.
Okay, let's do this. So, one Instagram myth you're tired of hearing. It's a rapid fire.
Hashtags work.
Okay. One content format you would be doubling down this year.
Storytelling. So taking anecdotes from my life and connecting them with the value.
One mistake keeping creators stuck under 10K.
Waiting, overthinking. I will post tomorrow. This is not right. That's not right. I want better lights. Whatever.
One thing you would do differently if you started today.
Nothing. I did everything perfect. But I will not stop. I took breaks after I went viral because I was like, I can take break. But if I had not taken breaks, I would have been close to 500K now.
Really?
100%.
Wow. Okay, so this wraps up our rapid fire as well, and so is our episode. But if there's anything I am taking away from this conversation, Prakriti, is that growth is not about doing more. It's about doing the things right consistently and through a period of time. So, Prakriti, this was such a good and grounded conversation around your journey as a master's, person to something who has actually changed the way we look at Instagram today. So thank you for your time, and thank you for pulling back curtain on everything around Instagram, creating content and staying consistent.
Thank you so much, Shruti, for having me. It was such a cool chat. I wish we had chatted so much in college also. It would have been
Yeah,
fun.
we never spoke.
Both of us existed.
Yeah,
One
that's it. So glad we had this chat. For everybody listening today, I'll link Prakriti's work below. She also runs a coaching batch. So if there's anything upcoming, Prakriti, let me know. I'll put that in my description, and people can reach out to you. Maybe they can just DM you on Instagram, and I'll link your profile there.
Sure. I'll just spell
Yeah.
out
Yes,
for you.
please.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I take group coaching batches in case you're wanting basics corrected and you want to build a foundation and just want to do it in a group of people who are in a similar situation or there to push you. Then I do one-on-one coachings which are more advanced and longer process, just focused on you and me. That's it. And the third part is where I do it for you. Basically, I have an agency running in. So you literally have to give me maybe 1 hour in a month and I'll sort all of your
Yeah.
month content.
I think you're the most right person if anybody wants to grow their Instagram. And if this episode shifted anything on how you think about Instagram, creating content, then don't forget to subscribe and follow Prakriti's Instagram channel. And don't forget to also subscribe Behind the Brief.
Yes.